Thank you for joining me. This is the Spiritual Princess. I wanted to talk about a couple of things that a lot of people don't understand, and one of them is higher selves. And I had one of my students ask me about the higher self because there's so many things all over the internet that just are all over the place. So I decided to answer some questions, not only on higher selves, but on things like people say we live in a simulation, or people say we live in a parallel universe, and that there's such a thing as time traveling. So I kind of wanted to sit with my guides and basically just debunk some of this stuff from what they say, because they are higher knowledge. And so anyway, if you're interested, that's what this video is going to be about. So this is what my guides said about our higher selves. They say it's merely a piece of us that has all the knowledge inside. It's inside of us, part of our soul. So it's the part that instinctively knows what to do if something scary or profound happened. Some people will say things like, it's as if it wasn't them doing something, because the higher self took over. It can either be a heroic action or like to save a life or save your own life. So again, it's part of our soul. Its main purpose is for life-saving knowledge, but sometimes the person fights your higher self in the sense that they might feel something, but they ignore it. The higher self has more knowledge, and it's very important knowledge that a person's brain might not comprehend. And that's why it's inside as part of our soul. The soul has been around a long time, and our souls have certain knowledge that gets forgotten with each lifetime. In the event of our death, the higher self usually knows what to do because it remembers having done this many times. That's why when people have a near-death experience, die and come back, they say after death they suddenly had all this knowledge, like everything in the universe, in their life made perfect sense. And so everyone has a higher self, but you're just not aware of it. As for living in a simulation, my guides say life isn't a simulation. It's not programmed, because if it were, many horrible things wouldn't happen. Everyone living has a role to play. I mean, we're not robots pre-programmed to do day-to-day tasks. Some people have bigger roles and responsibilities, while others are just here to learn and live an ordinary life. Not here to change the world. No matter what, though, it's your choice, your life, and that's not a simulation, because you decide how you want to live and behave. So now, speaking about parallel universes, I've heard this thrown around too, all over the internet. My guides say it's merely dimensions coexisting. So it's like heaven and earth. They both, exist, but are on different dimensions, existing at the same time. There are many dimensions, according to my guides, that are going on at the same time. Sometimes we can pop into one while sleeping. Some can seem dark and scary, while others might be beautiful and fun, these dimensions. My guides just basically wanted to say there are so many things that people don't understand. And so that's one of them. And then I'm going to get into time travel. Because, you know, it's really fun to see on movies. And I've seen other programs where people claim they have time traveled. So I wanted to ask my guides about this. So they have told me there is no such thing as time traveling. They said there have been experiments to see if it would work, but nobody can do it. It's nearly impossible because people and things are solid. We can't be manipulated in such a way to travel back and forward through time as we know it. Now, someone can have past life memories of being somewhere, but that's not physical time travel, like in the movies. That's hypnosis, basically, to go into the past, to see everything like in a dream state. My guides have said the government tested some mind altering on groups of children I think it goes back into the 40s and 50s. And they made these children believe in things that never really happened. They were messing with the idea of mind control over our enemies and how it would work. But since then, they have discovered other means of brainwashing if needed on our enemies. So the people who have been in a location to see it change into another location from the past, my guides say they're merely having a past life memory of that same place but at a different time. So for example, if you're in a department store in New York, the store might have changed, obviously, from maybe 50 years ago or 100 years ago in a different life. The store name could have changed, people, vehicles, everything. It's as if somebody might be seeing that same place from another life they lived. And that's common to recall if you live in the same town or city from another life. It's very weird to people when it happens to them, but that's all it is. They are not actually traveling back through time physically. Our souls have very vivid memories, so you never know when something might hit you. If you are drawn to a location, just know it's probably because you lived there in a previous life, or maybe several lives. So like for me, for many, many years, in my mid-20s, I started being drawn to go to Maine. I don't know why. It just bothered me. I always wanted to go. It never left me. And so finally, in my mid-30s, I did take a trip out there. And it was almost like I was home. I felt like in these little towns I was traveling through, seeing the lighthouses in different places, I just felt like I belonged there. So that's part of what my guides are saying. It's probably a past life. I am sure if I did hypnosis, I'm sure I probably had a past life there. And the same goes for the Boston area and Salem even. I was very drawn to visit Salem while I was there. So who knows? I mean, maybe I was a witch in another lifetime. I didn't have any visions of like my time in a different lifetime there, but it was just more of a feeling for me. And you may even see it briefly as if you were in another life, but again, it's not actually time traveling, it's recalling past life memories. The idea is fun, but it could not happen. If it did happen, okay, let's just pretend we had time traveling abilities. Many horrible world events, like the Holocaust for one, would have changed for the better. Or worse, if in the wrong hands of leadership. So, believe me, if time traveling could really happen, our leaders would be all over the place. It would be a mess. Things would be changing constantly. So anyway, that's why I wanted to kind of clear the air for people who truly believe in this stuff. And there are a lot of people who believe in time travel and that they've done it and claim to have done it, and I don't know. That's why I wanted to speak to a higher source about it, because I mean, who am I? I don't know if that's real, but the people on the other side in heaven know the truth about how we're living. And so anyway, that's why I wanted to ask and clear up some things. I hope you enjoyed that, and if you made it this far, I appreciate you listening to this entire video, and have a wonderful day or night. Love and light.